Hi buddies, hope you're doing fine. In this series, we will discuss about Jacobean to Restoration period. If you are ready, let's get started. 365 onwards, the decaying drama of the Age of Milton died a natural death with the closure of the theatres in the year 1640. The leaders of the metaphysical school were Ben Jonson and John Donne. For God's sake, hold thy tongue and let me love. Such abrupt beginnings are characteristic of John Donne, who among the following stated his objective as follows: I will strip the rage foliage of time naked as at their birth, and with the whip of state print wounding lashes in their iron ribs. Ben Jonson. Regarding the poetry of which metaphysical poet, Coleridge commented that nothing can be more fine, manly, and unaffected. G. Herbert. The elegy in praise of John Donne was written by Thomas Carew. Regarding which metaphysical poet, T.S. Eliot says that the special quality of his verse is the quality of civilization of traditional habit of life. Andrew Marvell. The poets who sided with King Charles I against the Parliament are called Cavalier poets and Caroline poets. Their collection of lyrics, Hesperides, published at London in the year 1648, was prepared by Robert Herrick. Who among the following is known for his epical romance Gondibert de Avenant? El Allegro, Second Penseroso, Comus and Lycidas are the four immortal poems of Milton. Compared to Paradise Lost, Paradise Regained is less significant and more Puritan. Which critic found Milton's poetry harsh and unequal with little music? Samuel Johnson. Who called Milton the mighty-mouthed inventor of harmonies? Tennyson. The voluminous work of Robert Burton, which has considerably influenced Dr. Johnson and Charles Lamb, is Anatomy of Melancholy. Holy and Profane State, one of the greatest works of character sketch, was written by Thomas Fuller. How many characters does George Herbert's The Country Person deal with in its 37 essays? 1. Thomas Browne, the greatest prose writer of the Puritan age, was by profession a doctor. What is the most significant contribution of Isaac Walton to the literary world? The Complete Angler. Who wrote Hydrotophia or Umburial 1658, inspired by the discovery of some 50 urns in the neighborhood? Thomas Browne. Ode of Wit is a small masterpiece of Abraham Cowley. The definition of love and to his coy mistress are the famous poems by Andrew Marvell. In Johnson's Every Man in His Humour, Who is the Jealous Husband? Kidley Merchant, who is credited for creating the modern prose style through his essays like Essay on Satire and Essay on Epic Poetry. Dryden. Grace Abounding is the autobiography of John Bunyan, who set a new trend in literary criticism through his examen of the silent woman. Dryden. What does Dryden mean by the term concernment, compassion? Dryden's All for Love is a transitional play showing the features of both the heroic play and the sentimental tragedy. The finest examples of the sentimental tragedy are the She Tragedy or The Fair Penitent and Jane Shore by Nicholas Rowe. Congreve achieved immediate success with his first play, Old Bachelor. Mrs. Milliman and Mirabel are the famous characters of The Way of the World. The Restoration comedies such as The Relapse, The Provoked Wife, and The Confederacy are the works of Vanbrugh. The contemporary of Dryden, whose reputation lies chiefly on heroic plays such as The Orphan and Venice Preserve, is Thomas Otway. The greatest fire that destroyed a major part of London occurred in the year 1666. The glorious revolution that forced James II to flee occurred in the year 1688. Newton's Principia was published in the year 1687. The Pilgrim's Progress, which has been called the Holy Grail of Puritanism, was written by Bunyan. The play of Marston that foreshadows Shakespeare's The Tempest is The Malcontent. In the Restoration era, almost the entire England was divided into two parties, the Whigs and the Tories. Which period marks the real moment of birth of our modern English prose, according to Arnold? The Restoration. Poetry in the Restoration period was predominantly satirical. An important element in Dryden's satire is his dexterity in handling the heroic couplet. A satire by Dryden, chiefly personal in content and not very great as a work of art, but still immensely popular in its times, was The Medal, whose essay on myself has been hailed as the perfect example of what a personal essay should be. Cowley. Which poem of Dryden was written in celebration of Charles II's restoration? Astrea Redux. Who wrote Pindaric Odes, which influenced 18th century poetry? Abraham Cowley. Who said this about Donne for not keeping accent and deserved hanging? Ben Jonson. Only one line, "Death thou shalt be dead," sums up the whole spirit of his writing. Who is that? John Donne. Which poems of Herbert is considered a predecessor of Bunyan's Pilgrim's Progress, the Pilgrimage? How's George Herbert's poetry describes serene and quiet? In its broadest sense, the Puritan movement is regarded as a second renaissance of the moral nature of man. Under whom was the Commonwealth established in 1648? Thomas Cromwell. In what lies the peculiarity of the Cavaliers? Open rebellion against Puritan ideals, lighter vein and gaiety, yet religiousness, licentiousness and triviality. To whom do we assign these charming poems? Gather ye rosebuds while ye may to daffodils. Robert Herrick. Some poets of the Puritan age call themselves the sons of Ben. Who are they? Robert Herrick, Thomas Carew, Andrew Marvell. The poets regarded as the link between the Renaissance and the classical ages, Cowley, Denham, Waller. Dr. Johnson begins his lives of the poets with Abraham Cowley, who wrote the following lines: "He that would hope to write well hereafter in laudable things ought himself to be a true poem, that is a composition and pattern of the best and most honorable things." John Milton. John Milton wrote a poem when he was at Cambridge, which still remains one of his best, named "On the Mooring of Christ's Nativity." John Milton was born in 1608. How many books are there in Paradise Regained? 4. Who is the hero of Paradise Regained? Christ. What is the theme of Paradise Regained? The temptation of Jesus Christ. What do El Allegro and Penseroso mean? The cheerful man and the pensive man. Who said that the sonnet in Milton's hand became a trumpet? William Wordsworth. The plot of Samson Agonistes is taken from the book of Judge. Milton's Samson Agonistes is a tragedy on the Greek model. Whom does he follow here? Sophocles. What is the literary form used in Samson? Blank verse. When was Paradise Lost published? 1667. In book 3rd of Paradise Lost, Satan comes to the earth. Where does he alight first? On Mount Nephalis. Who directs Satan to the earth in Paradise Lost? Uriel. Name the angel who comes down to carry out the decree of God after the fall. Michael. What form does Satan take when he comes to tempt Christ in Paradise Regained? An aged man is rural weeds. Payne says, next to the Bible, the book most widely read in England is Pilgrim's Progress. The journey in Pilgrim's Progress is undertaken in 10 stages. The Garden of Cyrus by Sir Thomas Browne deals with number 5. How is the Leviathan of Hobbes' work Leviathan? The State. When was Coverdale's great Bible issue? 1540. The prose work Robert Bacon's Anatomy of Melancholy of the Puritan period influenced Dr. Johnson, Sterne, and Charles Lamb. Which critic refers to Milton's The Grand Style? Matthew Arnold. Right or wrong, good or bad, or concepts which according to Thomas Hobbes are determined by self-interest. Spot the book written in the form of a dialogue between Piscator and Venator. Isaac Walton's Complete Angler. The first regular English journal was started in 1622 by Thomas Anker and Nicholas Byrne. A game of chess, a political satire by Middleton, is set in Spain. Dryden's Absalom and Achitophel dealt with the people's plan to prevent James from coming to the throne and make Duke of Monmouth the king. This is known as the Popish plot. The age of Pope is known as the era of tolerance, common sense, moderation, and balance. The proper study of mankind is man. This famous line is extracted from Alexander Pope's essay on man. Pope's The Rape of the Lock is a mock heroic poem. Who was the king when the terms Whig and Tory came into existence? Charles II. Whig party was in favor of preeminence of personal freedom. Royal divine right was supported by Tory party. Who were in favor of the Hanoverian succession? The Whigs. Who was Jacobites? The Tories. The name of the first daily newspaper that began in 1702 was the Daily Courant. The Treaty of Utrecht took place in the year 1713. Act of Settlement was passed in the year 1701. The campaign which praises the war policy of the Whigs was written by Addison. Which one of the works of John Gay resembles Pope's Pastorals, The Shepherd's Week? The Art of Walking in the Streets of London is the subtitle of Trivia. Which one of the following Gay's works is a parody of the heroic style? Trivia. Fielding's novel Joseph Andrews is a parody of the novel Pamela. Thank you so much for watching this video till end. If you are having any suggestion, let me know in the comment section. We'll see you in next video. Tada, bye bye.